There's no such thing as a small disaster. So when you call 1-800-WATER DAMAGE of North Dakota, we come prepared to restore your life back to normal. From burst pipes to unexpected mold discoveries or fire damage, when things couldn't be worse, we come to you with our best. With empathy, local expertise, and a truck full of seriously powerful equipment. 1-800-WATER DAMAGE of North Dakota. Restoring what matters most. 701-670-2022.
Well, good morning. I'm meteorologist Lisa Green. Welcome to this Valley News Now weather update brought to you by 1-800-WATER DAMAGE. We've got some conditions today that are a little quieter. We're getting a little bit of a breather, a little bit of a break between systems coming up here. There are still some areas getting some light snow. Of course, there's still some lingering areas of ice on the roadways as well. Some snow on some of the roads too from recent rounds. So that's something we're going to continue to have to deal with as we head through these winter months, even between systems. But we are looking at some weather that is going to be on the more active side starting up for later tonight and heading into the weekend. We've got a cold blast coming in with some Arctic air that's going to push into the valley for tonight. There's going to be some snow on the front end of that, and then the wind and the cold coming with it as well. So we're going to track all this out for you and get you prepared for what's to come. So you can see behind me, we've got a view of the flags down at the Dakota Magic Casino, and a sky cam there showing them gently moving in the wind. It's not as windy as it was, so we're getting a wind break between yesterday and what's to come tomorrow. So good time to work on cleaning up some of your driveways, that sort of thing. But just keep in mind the wind will pick back up tomorrow as we head into the daytime hours, or into the morning really. We'll see it pick up overnight. But today, a little bit of a break going on here. We do have some snow showers out there that I've been keeping an eye on. One area here, this is actually looking so much better. I'm seeing some blue sky up on the DOT cam in the Pembina area. And that is where I was earlier seeing some reduced visibility. There's still, of course, some ice on the road surface that you can see there. We'll make this a little bit bigger. And some compacted snow as well. So again, this might be a sight you see as we're heading into the or heading out the door and heading on the road to where you need to be. But it's nice to see a little blue sky making its way there. So speaking of roads, this is looking at road conditions right now. Our map showing a lot of different colors here, but more green than we did see yesterday. And no areas in our region, at least, under a advisory. We're looking at some places where we do have blue or pink, meaning patchy ice or snow on the roads. And I can take this full screen so we can see it a little bit better, a little more full view. The farther west you go into North Dakota, the more it's going to be tough to travel on some of our roadways, and that's because we're kind of missing out on an event that's been hitting western North Dakota. You can see South Dakota has some no travel advisories around the Pier area, and that's an area, again, where we're seeing some precipitation going on. I do also want to just quickly remind you how to check road conditions here on our website on valleynewslive.com, and then in addition to that, you can also check them on the road or on the app while you're traveling as well, of course, after you've pulled over. But you can see here on our valleynewslive.com page, I'm on the weather page here, and you can see that we've got a little discussion going on. There's the latest weather video there, and then right at the top, this is where we've got certain selections, and one of them is road conditions. We click on that, and that brings up road conditions for the tri-state area, North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota. And right now, South Dakota, we'll click on South Dakota. Right now, there's some issues with travel there because of the snow and freezing rain. And you can see on their map, now our map is more streamlined. We have the same color scheme for each state, but if you go to their individual websites, you'll see different options and a much more complex view of the road conditions going on. And then you can see it right in that Pier area there, and around it, those red and black dashed lines means no travel advised. So you can check that out. There's some cameras here. We'll take a look at a camera up around the state line with South Dakota here near the Dakota Magic Casino as well. Looking pretty good on the road surface there. When I was doing the valley today this morning, I did see a whole fleet of snow plows in the distance on this stretch of road working to get them clear. So again, that's a look at South South Dakota's map, you can also check out the maps for North Dakota and Minnesota as we go through the winter here. So again, that's our view. It's looking better. We're, again, as I was mentioning, we're in a relative break. And here's the way that you can see and access road conditions on our app. Go to our homepage, scroll down, and then you'll see this tab here that says road conditions, and it'll bring up that same menu I just showed you on our page. So again, looking at conditions that are a little quieter today for us, at least here in the valley, we'll pull up the radar here and talk about what we're seeing. So again, this is that larger area where the more activity is going on. So down by Sioux Falls, again over by Pierre. Earlier on in this loop, you see some pink and purple indicating some mixed precipitation or some freezing rain. And then this stretches up toward Montana, so southwestern North Dakota, a little tougher driving here. And then here in the valley, we do have some areas where we've got some light snow. And that continues for places along Highway 59 in Minnesota, around Thief River Falls, down to Foston, down to Monoman, and then a couple of areas near Fargo and down into the Otter Tail County area as well. We'll zoom in a little bit more. But there's that blue sky, that clearing line that I was just showing you on our DOT cam up in Pembina. That's right here, and you can see there's clearing. The gray areas are your clouds, again, on the satellite layer. But more places are experiencing some clouds and maybe even some snow here this morning. And then Fargo-Moorhead, watching out for some flakes as well. Visibility down in Thief River Falls, as you would expect with any snow coming down. It's also down out to the west here too. Rolla is less than 2 miles visibility at the moment. And so a lot of places are reporting 10 miles visibility, so that's really good. That's what we want to see. That's the maximum report you can get. But again, you know, we've got some concentrated areas where visibility is down for some travel plans you have today. Want to keep that in mind. And then looking at your wind speed map, this is still looking really good. We've got winds that are down into the single digits to even some teens for wind speeds, but no big gusts happening here today. And temperatures have been on the rise, but they're running low. They're running colder than average. We're into the single digits to some teens here to start off, or to start to end the morning, and we'll kick off the afternoon coming up in about an hour. And then wind chills are below zero, so layer up if you're going to head out and do some snow blowing here for today. Now, checking out your afternoon planner, temperatures will rise a little bit more. We'll get into some mid-teens for a lot of the valley. This is, again, that's below average. It's about 10 degrees below average. Our average high is 26 for the state in Fargo. Overcast skies, except for there are some pockets where we are seeing some blue, but more likely mostly cloudy than not, though I am hopeful we'll maybe see some more breaks in the clouds this afternoon. But here's a look at what to expect. So, you know, we've been watching some of these snow showers moving through over the course of the morning. They'll continue to linger a little bit longer into midday. And then, you know, we're just looking at more quieting conditions for a time into the afternoon and evening. You can see temperatures, again, into the teens this afternoon. And then you can see there's more blue showing up on the very edge of your screen there. This is 6 o'clock tonight out to the west. By the time we're getting into that post-dinner time frame, into the late evening, we're seeing this start to move in, that chance for some snow in eastern North Dakota, starting in places like the Devil's Lake Basin, over toward the James River Valley, and then moving east from there. And notice it's not necessarily heavy, it's not necessarily uniform, so there might be some places that get a little more than others. But overall, north and south have a chance for some snow overnight. This is 3 a.m., moving on into tomorrow morning, that clears away. And so we get this fresh layer, this fresh coating of snow, and you can see these winds, these arrows here indicating the wind direction. You can see they're moving in out of the northwest, and they're picking up. And you can see temperatures by 8 a.m. starting to see that sub-zero range over to the west. And it will struggle from there to warm up with that driving wind. So as far as snowfall is concerned here in the next 24 hours, I'm not expecting a lot. We're looking at everybody with a chance for a dusting up to an inch. And then there may be these pockets in this more solid light blue color, which is that 1 to 2 range, that see that 1+ range. Not a lot again, but enough to coat the roads, enough to coat your vehicles if you park outside, and enough to get picked up and blown by the wind and create issues with some visibility, some ground drifting as we head into Friday. So let's talk about our first alert weather day on Friday. Again, we're going to be watching for blowing snow, drifting snow, with that cold front, that Arctic front moving in. That's going to bring, again, increasing wind and then the cold temperatures too to go with that. Gusty winds will also, again, cause that blowing snow factor. It's not just the snow our fresh snow we've gotten. If you didn't have a layer of ice over it, that's going to get picked up and blown around potentially. And then, visibility and ice on roads are going to be our biggest concerns here heading into Friday as far as travel is concerned. But the cold will become an increasing hazard too. So looking at our wind planner here. So these numbers now on the map, these are your wind gusts. So not really expected much here as we head into tonight. This is starting at 9 o'clock. Moving on into the overnight hours after that snow has moved through, and we've got that colder air rushing in. You can see by 4:30, when we're kicking off the valley today, tomorrow morning, we'll see the winds getting into the 30s, and then into the afternoon, we'll see those into the east, we'll see winds into the 20s. But once we get into the afternoon, everybody will have a chance at seeing some wind gusts that top 30 miles per hour. And so that, again, is enough to pick up and blow around some snow. It might not necessarily create whiteout conditions, but there might be some pockets that are like that, and it'll cause drifting across the roadway. And so, again, just looking out for that to affect travel throughout the day on Friday with the wind gusts that we'll be getting. And again, it's cold air rushing in, so that's going to be tough too. Let's take a look at our weekend cold surge that's coming our way. So we're starting things off, starting off at this morning earlier on, looking pretty quiet. A reminder about what these lines mean. That black contour, that is the computer plotting for us the 0-degree line. And then farther south, the white is the 32-degree line. So anything above or south of there is above freezing. And then, of course, we're looking at sub-zero temperatures and cold coming our way. So this is Friday morning. It's cold, not too bad yet, but that colder air rushes in and that settles in for the day on Friday. We are all in that sub-zero range. Moving on into the morning hours on Saturday, definitely in this Arctic air mass across the valley. It continues to plunge south and east from there. So Saturday night, we're in the heart of it, and it expands to more places on Saturday night. And so we're going to just stay below zero all day on Saturday. And then heading into Sunday, we'll be below zero to start the morning. And that might be our coldest morning on Sunday. We'll talk about that in a moment. But we're already starting to turn things around by Sunday night. This core of Arctic air starts to shift farther south or farther east and south as well. It moves on from us. We're still going to be cold, but we're starting to see some milder air move in for Monday. Again, this white line, that's the freezing line. So it's possible we could see temperatures getting closer to the freezing mark on Tuesday. If we don't quite reach there, we'll still be a little bit closer into the 20s to near 30 on Tuesday as well. So some warmer air coming our way after this Arctic outbreak that we've got coming for this weekend. So let's take a look at the ups and downs here. It's going to be a bit of a roller coaster ride. For today, our little breather, we're still getting a couple of spotty areas of snow, but we're getting this break from the wind and the intensity of winter weather. Later tonight, we'll see those snow showers move in. And then those clear away pretty quickly, which is good because once that wind picks up, we'll just be more concerned about snow getting picked up off the ground rather than that plus falling snow getting blown around. So that's the good news is as that wind is really intensifying, it won't be blowing around falling snow. So that will help a little, but we'll still have some areas where we have some trouble spots for visibility. And again, a little bit of drifting across roads that kind of just help to add more ice and snow to the mix on top of roadways. And then heading into Saturday, once that wind eases up Friday night, Saturday, it just plummets. We're going to see those temperatures really drop close to about 20 below on Saturday morning. And you can see we don't warm up on Saturday. We stay below zero in Fargo and around much of the valley. Sunday, there's our low, 22 below. It's possible we'll be colder than this even. And, a lot of times when we get that cold, it's because we've got that cold core of air overhead, that big high pressure, which doesn't have a lot of wind with it. So we may not have a huge wind chill difference depending on our winds here that we see on Sunday morning. But at that temperature, even a 5-mile-per-hour speed can really send that wind chill down. So it's something we're going to be watching closely as we head toward the weekend. I want you to be prepared for it. So be ready for the intense cold. Good weekend to stay indoors. I know we just got this fresh round of snow, which I know a lot of winter lovers are excited about. Snowmobilers, our ski areas around the valley. But if you are going to go out and do those things, you're just going to need to really layer up because it's going to be cold, and maybe wait for the afternoon when temperatures are a little bit more tolerable here this weekend. And now next week, not great timing. It would have been nice to have, temperatures more in the 20s this weekend. That's when we'll see it heading into next week, heading into Tuesday, again, close to that 30-degree temperature. And then Wednesday should be pretty mild, but we'll be watching for our next system heading into Wednesday, and that could cool us down a little bit. We'll bring this up full screen for you so you can see the full 11-day planner. And while you're checking that out, we'll check to see if anybody's had any questions on our Facebook chat here. And, we're always happy to answer your questions about what's going on with the weather during these live updates on Valley News Now. And we have no questions right now. Maybe everybody's taken a little bit of a break from paying really extra close attention to the weather after our storm system that hit this week. But we just, again, reminding you, want you to be prepared for the cold and the blowing snow factor that may come. It will likely be coming on Friday. It's, again, more ground drifting because we're not looking at falling snow once the wind picks up. So that's the good thing about that, the silver lining of it all, we'll say. So, again, let's see here. I'm just checking to see if there's any comments or anything else that I might have missed as we've been chatting. And I don't see any, so we're going to go ahead and we'll bring up our view here. Hello again. Again, just to keep in mind that the temperatures are going to be plummeting heading into the weekend, so we want you to be prepared. Make sure that you have your winter survival kit in your car because, even if you don't run into tough weather, we are looking at temperatures that will be dangerously low. And so if you run into car trouble, cars have a hard time working in those kind of temperatures a lot of times. So if you run into car trouble, you want to have that kit with you, those extra layers, your fully charged cell phone, all of that stuff if you are traveling so you can stay warm and safe while you wait for some help to come your way. So again, stay safe out there as we are working our way through the heart of winter. It's been an interesting one. And we'll continue, and we're only in December, so we'll continue to keep you updated on the forecast. And just a reminder that we've got that first alert weather day coming up for tomorrow. This has been your weather update brought to you by 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE.
There's no such thing as a small disaster. So when you call 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE of North Dakota, we come prepared to restore your life back to normal. From burst pipes to unexpected mold discoveries or fire damage, when things couldn't be worse, we come to you with our best. With empathy, local expertise, and a truck full of seriously powerful equipment. 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE of North Dakota. Restoring what matters most. 701-6